guys? Jason up at the New 80s Revolution down here in the horror cave for just a quick update on the ongoing VHS horror collection and the announcement that the first ever vintage horror night is going to happen this week right here on VHS, the Vintage Horror Show. That's right. In just a few days, you and I are going to be hanging out together, getting ready to come down in the cave, turn off all the lights, and watch a vintage horror movie on the only format that we should be watching vintage horror movies on. That's right, VHS. But before that, we're going to take the camera upstairs and we're going to prepare a vintage horror night meal. That's right, we're just going to cook something fun together, you know, Food Network style. You're going to be seeing some of the knife skills and the frying skills, the sandwich making skills. You're going to see all that. We'll see all that. And of course, we'll have a special beverage together. We'll eat together. We'll drink together. And then we'll slink back down here and settle in. And I will watch a movie and come back with you and talk about it. That's what we will do. So that will be fun. Now, in the future, if this idea takes off, in the future what I'd like to do is eat the food, watch the movie, and then go live with you guys and talk about the movie. Maybe you guys can watch the same movie that I'm watching. I don't know. Maybe we can make this interactive in the future if it ends up being a popular idea. Two things before I show you the handful of VHS tapes I'm getting, or I've gotten. First thing, Scream Factory. I just got a notice from Scream Factory that they are putting together and releasing a 12-disc Friday the 13th collector's edition Blu-ray set, which is awesome, and it's coming October 13th. Its price point right now is $159, which I'm thrilled with because it contains it's a 12-disc set, or it's a 12-movie set. I think it's a 16-disc set, 12 movies, a bunch of extras, tons of bonuses, and 2 full-size lithograph posters. Just looks awesome. Comes in this awesome square collector's box, it looks like. Go check that out on Scream Factory. It's up for pre-order now. And I've never actually pre-ordered anything in my life, but I'm thinking about pre-ordering this. I have the whole run on Blu-ray, but this collector's edition just seems so great. And the box is actually something that you display. So in my theater room, there's plenty of space for the Friday the 13th box set. You know, I do that with the Marvel movies. I do that with the Star Wars 4Ks. I just kind of set them on their own little shelf, you know, and so the physical media becomes an actual decoration, just like in the old VHS days, ladies and gentlemen. So that's coming. That is awesome. I love that. I can't wait for that. I'm getting that. I don't know if I'm going to pre-order it, but I am getting it. Now, the other thing that I've been wanting to show off for like a month now, a friend of the channel, Will Malinowski. That's right, Will Malinowski, a nice German fella. Sent me a message, as many of you do, and said, I'd like to send you something. And he showed me what he was doing. And he is clearly a talented artist. And Will Malinowski has developed the new hobby, the new technique, the new gift of making replica Friday the 13th masks. And the love that idea. And he saw a video that I did, I think it was my birthday, when I showed off the Friday the 13th NES version, the Nintendo game version mask that I got for my birthday, the purple one. And he said, yeah, I can do that. You know, I'm making myself some, and I'm going to send you one. And of course, I was blown away, amazed at the generosity. And I now have my first Malinowski in the collection. The Friday the 13th Part 3 mask from your friend and mine, Will Malinowski. And here's the best part. Here's the best part. You guys can get one too, because he wasn't planning on selling these and doing anything like that. But I said, dude, these are so good. You must make them available to the Friends of the New 80s Revolution. And he said, that's fine. Okay, if anybody wants one, just reach out to me. So if anybody wants this incredible, look at that. Ooh, that's a little creepy, isn't it? A little 3D. Look at that. If anybody wants your custom Friday the 13th mask from Will Malinowski, just let him know. Google him. Google him? No, I think you would send him a Facebook message, or you would go through me, or you would just, leave a comment on the video, and I'm sure will get a hold of you. They are not expensive, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, they are not expensive. The time and effort that Will puts into these. First of all, I've seen some custom jobs, and they're fine, they're good, but they're pricey. And when I was about to meet a couple of Friday the 13th actors, I think it was in Niagara Falls last year when I met Kane Hodder, and I was going to have a custom mask made up, but the guy was charging $100. And I was like, okay, no, Will Malinowski's masks are not $100. I can assure you of that. Very affordable, and incredibly detailed. And he's not just making a generic mask. He's going and he's making a mask based on an actual movie. So this is a Part 3 mask. He's currently working on a Roy mask, which is actually my favorite mask, with the blue markings. And he's making them available to you. So if you want them, if you want a mask, reach out to my man Will. I'll put his name in the description, I guess, and you can send him a Facebook request or leave a comment here. But I wanted to formally thank Will for this very generous gift. And you know where this sits? This sits up in the theater room. This is part of, like, my children watch TV. My children watch Blippi with this mask, like 10 feet from their head. So thank you, Will. This is an awesome, awesome piece. And you know what? They're way more comfortable to wear than those big, heavy, bulky NECA masks. Because at Halloween I like to sit around and sit on the front porch with the mask on, and my kids and I like to play Jason Voorhees, believe it or not. Yeah, I know, kind of a bad influence, right? But this mask is way more comfortable to wear than those big, bulky NECA ones. So check this out. Will Malinowski, thank you very much for that. Now, quickly, I picked up, I don't know, 8 VHS since the last one, and didn't realize that I had already had one. So when I get to, I'll do it now. If anybody wants the Halloween VHS, drop me a comment, and I'll send this off to you free. Obviously, I already have one, and I didn't realize that I thought I had Halloween 2, and so I grabbed this for a couple of bucks, but I already have it. But no big deal. I'll pass it on to you guys. I don't need 2 copies, obviously. All right, first one we got is House. My man William Catt, and I met William Catt again at Chiller last year, and he was such a nice guy. Not a lot of people in his line, which was probably a good thing, because he spends like 15 minutes talking to each fan. And he writes this big, long personalized message on your 8x10. And when I mean personalized, he tries to think of like not just to Jason, but we were talking and I told him what I did for a living and that I worked in mental health and addiction, and he wrote, to Jason, help, I'm addicted to this suit. The greatest American hero suit. And I just thought that was fantastic, that he just really takes a lot of time with his fans. So I'm a big fan of William Katt and a big fan of the House movie. This is a must-have, I think, for any 80s VHS horror collection. So House is now part of the new 80s revolution. Another great must-have movie. This is from 1977. So we're going deep. We're going deep into the 70s here. We've got Steven Spielberg's Close Encounters of the Third Kind. And the reason why I like these movies is because they're prior to a time, they're before a time of overly, CGI generated stuff. And I think in the 70s, this stuff was actually scary to people. Like the aliens, the third, the Close Encounters type of stuff was like terrifying people. I think that people thought that, this could really happen. And I don't know if it could or couldn't happen, but there's just something about these older movies. The ideas have not been done to death. The concepts are not overly played out. So when you get an alien movie, an alien abduction movie in 1977, you know that it's like fresh out of somebody's mind because it wasn't done a lot. So, today would I be as interested? No, of course not. But back then, 77, I'll take that. That'll be great. So we got Close Encounters joining the shelf. All right, next up, these two. So I love infestation movies, right? Horror movies. So I'm good with bees and spiders in my movies. I especially enjoy the movie Strays, which I can't find on VHS, but it's a movie about scary cats, because I hate cats personally. Hate them. I think they're evil. Nothing against any of you cat people. I mean, I love cats. I'll pet a cat. Cats are nice, but I'm afraid of them, and I'm allergic to them. So, anyway, I like a good scary cat movie. One of my favorite infestation movies is called Ants, and I'm looking for that on VHS. I love Ants. Just about a construction site that digs up an ant colony, an ant world, and the ants take over and kill people. Not the stupid giant ants, but regular ants. So this one is about rats. And, nothing's going to make me crawl out of my skin more. You want a legit scary movie? Forget slashers and forget ghosts. Rats will do it. So this is Willard. This is your classic Ernest Borgnine stars in Willard. And I believe this is also from the 70s. It doesn't say. Yeah, I think Willard was very late 70s or very early 80s. Yeah, so we got Willard. And if you got Willard, you gotta have Ben. So we got part 2, basically. Where Willard ended, Ben begins. So I'll be digging this. And I know this has got to be like 70s because Michael Jackson's Ben is part of the soundtrack. Yeah, I don't know. These Prism videos don't have the year on them. So when was Ben and Willard? I'm saying late 70s, early 80s. And this is partially sealed. This is still sealed up a little bit, and I can't really tell where it's from. There's a price sticker on it, but I can't. It doesn't have any store markings on it. All right, so we got Ben, we got Willard. This one is exciting because it's a short. It's two shorts. It's from Stephen King's Night Shift collection. Two startling tales from horror master Stephen King. So we've got The Woman in the Room and we've got The Boogeyman, each a 30-minute short on this one VHS. So Stephen King's Night Shift collection. And this is from '84. So I'll be looking forward to that, just because this is like, I love anthologies and I love shorts, which is going to remind me of something in a minute. So there's Stephen King's Night Shift collection joins. Let me tell you now about the shorts, so I don't forget. I'm going to be adding to the Vintage Horror Night TV shows. So upstairs in the Blu-ray in the collection, I have Tales from the Dark Side. I have Tales from the Crypt. These are all complete box sets. I have the vintage Twilight Zone, and I also have the 80s Twilight Zone remake, all complete. I have a short-lived show called Monsters, which is a Tales from the Dark Side style show. I have Freddy's Nightmares, and I have the Friday the 13th TV series. So as we mix it up a little bit on Vintage Horror Night, maybe we won't just always watch a movie. Maybe we'll come down here and watch a couple of episodes of Tales from the Dark Side or Twilight Zone and really get into some conversation about that. This last one, well, there's two. I'll do this one first. The guy that I bought these from, I went to a garage sale a couple weekends ago, and he had a bunch of VHS tapes out, and they weren't horror. And I was looking through them, and he's like, take them all for $20. And I was like, well, I only really kind of want horror right now. If I go down the rabbit hole of other VHS, this room will, explode. So he's like, I got horror upstairs in a closet. I'll dig it out. And 2 weeks later, he gave me a call, and he said, I dug out those movies for you. And they were $2 each. And he had a bunch of Stephen King titles. And I don't like a lot of the Stephen King TV miniseries, like The Stand and a couple more. I didn't, I don't like those all that much. But this one, I really like because the concept is really freaky. This is the Langoliers or the Langoliers. People board an airplane, and everybody disappears, and they land the airplane, and nobody exists, and what the heck is going on? Kind of like Lost. Maybe a pre-Lost. But I just like that concept. And I remember watching some of this. I don't know if I've ever seen the whole thing. But I'm going to enjoy this. And I think it's a miniseries. I think we're talking like 4 hours here. This is 1995. Yeah, 3 hours. So 3 hours spread out on two tapes. And what a throwback to a simpler time of miniseries. Miniseries were such a thing in the 70s and 80s on TV. You would tune in on a Sunday night and you'd watch an hour and a half or 2 hours, and then you got to come back next Sunday to get the next 2 hours. And that's fun. I like that concept. And Stephen King kept that going well into the 90s with the TV miniseries. So the Langoliers will enjoy. Definitely gonna like that one. This one I was the most excited about. When I saw it in his little table there, I thought, oh wow, this is great. This is old. He goes, yeah, that's an old one. I'm looking forward to watching this as an adult because I've only seen it as a kid. And I don't think I ever knew what the heck was going on. So I'm really looking forward to watching this with, a semi-adult brain. Ray Bradbury's Something Wicked This Way Comes. Now again, I remember this thing being very cool as a kid. And there's some scenes that stand out in my head that were scary. One is when I haven't seen this in 30 years. But one scene that stands out is on a merry-go-round. And the merry-go-round starts spinning backwards and people are aging on the merry-go-round. I just thought that was so cool. But I don't think I don't think I appreciated the movie as a kid, obviously. So I really can't wait to watch this as an adult. But Something Wicked This Way Comes was the one I was most excited about. So that's that, and the reminder that there is a Halloween VHS up for grabs if anybody wants it. Just leave me a message and I'll send it off to you eventually, probably next year, maybe, I don't know, because I'm horrible at getting stuff out. So if you want the tape, let me know. That's that. So this week is going to be the debut of the Vintage Horror Night. I still haven't come up with the idea of a meal. There's a very interesting sandwich that I like a lot, and there's a very interesting like sort of snack meal that I like to make for myself when I'm up late and the kids aren't going to eat it. It's just me. It's very strange, but I love it. It might involve spam. No spoilers, just maybe. So maybe that'll be our first meal. I don't know, but. Yeah, that's that. So thanks again to Will Malinowski. Please give this man some business. Order a mask from him. He'll do them any of the styles of the movies that you want. You want a Part 4 mask? You want a Part 6 mask? You got it. Let him design it for you and create it. It's not going to break the bank, I promise you. I don't want to overly quote his price because, but it's less than $50. Okay, I'll tell you that much. Less than $50. So get it from my man Will. Thank you very much. Vintage Horror Night coming soon right here on VHS, the Vintage Horror Show. See you next time. Good night now.